teach on how to judge prophecy. Okay, we took a week off last week. I want to get right back into it. I want to jump right back into it. How to judge prophecy, okay? We said some things 2 weeks ago. I know folks have been waiting and listening and waiting for us to finish this message. So we're going to finish this message on how to judge prophecy and why. Why is prophecy so important in these last days, okay? Let me just do this. Let me do this. I'm going to start in reverse. Sometimes you just got to roll with the flow. You know what I'm saying? I was going to close with this, but instead we'll start with this. From the book of Revelations, chapter 1. We're teaching on how to judge prophecy. First of all, I want to give you some understanding of why it's so important that we learn to prophesy, and then how to judge prophecy. How to judge prophecy. I'm in Revelations 22. Revelation 22, I'm going to start about verse 6. And he said unto me, Revelation 22:6, these sayings are faithful and true, and the Lord God of the holy prophets sent his angels to show unto his servant the things which must shortly be done. To show the things which must shortly be done. Behold, this is Jesus now, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. Now, I know right here he's referring to the book of Revelations here, Apocalypse. That's what he's referring to. Of the revelation of Jesus Christ, the Apocalypse of Jesus Christ is what he's referring to. But really, the whole book is a prophecy. The whole book should be the it should be the prophecy or the revelation of Jesus Christ. That's what it is. The whole book is a revelation. Now watch this. The word revelation, you know what it means? The word revelation means to unveil, to reveal. That's all it means. The unveiling of Jesus Christ. Now notice what he said. Blessed is the one that keepeth the saying of the prophecy. Now watch, I'm not done, because I don't want to close right here. I was going to close right here. In verse 17 of the same chapter. Yeah, verse 17 of the same chapter says this. And the Spirit of the bride said, come, and let him that heareth say, come, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take of the water of life freely. For I testify unto every man that heareth the word of the prophecy of this book. And if any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. And if any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. He which testified these things said, surely I come quickly. Amen. And then we have the last prayer of the Bible by the Apostle John. He says, even so, come Lord Jesus. Even so. But here's my thing. But you know what he said? God is so concerned about these prophecies that God said, if you take one thing out of the book, I had all the plagues that's in the book on you. And not only that, if you add to it or take away, God says, you know what? I'll take your name out of the book of life. That's not concern that God is about these prophecies and that these prophecies are going to come to pass. The whole thing is a prophecy. You're not here. The whole book is a revelation. It's the unveiling of Jesus Christ. The whole thing. So, if the whole thing is a prophecy, don't you think you want to know how to prophesy and how to judge it? If the whole thing going to end on the prophecy? And he said, if you take a word out of that prophecy, you're in trouble. If you add a word, you're in trouble. So hold up. tell me I need to learn to judge prophecy. Because I can mess around there and lose my salvation for adding to the book. For saying something God didn't say. You're not here. And I see folks all the time talking about the Spirit said, the Spirit said, the Spirit said. You better find out if that Spirit holy. All spirits ain't holy. You know, people always say, the Spirit said, that don't mean nothing because the Spirit said. Spirit said it all the time. You're not here. And that don't mean it's God. So you're here. All right, here we go. You ready? So you need to know how to judge prophecy. And then why. Okay? Now, 2 weeks ago when we taught on it, we ended up with dealing with 2 of the gifts of the Spirit. 2 of the ways that prophecy comes. One by a word of wisdom, and the other one by a word of knowledge. And we give the rules for those word of wisdom and for the word of knowledge. Okay? The rule for the word of wisdom is the word predicts the future. It's future events. The rule for the word knowledge is it deals with the present and the past. And the only other one left to deal with is the simple gift of prophecy. Okay? But now, in this, I just want to show some other ways that prophecy comes. And then you can judge it, okay? I just want to show some other ways. All right, so if you have your Bible, let's go. Some of the things we're going to have to understand, okay? If we're going to judge prophecy. I think I stopped in Isaiah 46. Let's pick it up right there and we'll take off. I think if we get this down, we'll be able to judge how to deal with them, how to understand them, you know. I just got tired of folks coming up to me telling me what the Lord said. And I didn't know if the Lord said it or not. I got tired of folks prophesying money out of my pocket into their pocket. I'm sorry, I just got tired of people coming up talking about the Lord saying, everybody give me $50. Well, yeah. But first of all, Lord, you need to give me $50 before you tell this clown, give me $50. You're not here. And so I just got tired of folks prophesying. I got tired of folks prophesying to me. I'm big on prophecy. I really am. I got tired of folks prophesying to me where I should be, who I should be with, who I should go with. I got tired of that. You know. But watch this. But I heard some folks prophesy. I heard some folks say stuff, and they didn't even put it in as a prophecy. They just said it. And what they said, it was so. What they said came to pass. I'm going to watch this. Where you going to? Where you turn to? Okay, Isaiah 46. All right, I get that. But watch this. I was sitting at the table one day eating lunch, minding my own business. I'm just sitting at the table eating lunch. And the fellow leaned over. Somebody asked me, said, Brother Bailey, when are you going to get married? Good question. I was like, I wish I knew. You could tell me. You know, I'm like, married? I can't afford to pay attention. I don't know if we marry somebody. But anyway, that's what they asked me. And somebody answered for me again. Said, oh, Brother Bailey don't need to get married. You married? Well, I don't need to get married. You know what I'm saying? You married? You know, just going to answer for me. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. And then one fellow began to, he went on, I don't know if he was serious about it or what, but he began to, what he said was a prophecy. And he said, oh, Brother Billy gonna marry a girl from Bell Rose with long black hair, high yellow girl. I was like, man, I know that ain't God, 'cause I don't know nobody like that in Bell Rose or around Bell Rose. I don't even go to Bell Rose. I don't even want to go to Bell Rose. There's nothing in Bell Rose. Yeah, I'm getting that look now. But guess what? I married a yellow girl with long black hair, and guess where she's from? Bell Rose. Bell Rose. And that was over. When he said it, when he said this to me, it was 20 years later before this came to pass. It was years later before it came to pass. You know, because I'm like, man, I don't want to go to Bell. Why would I want to go to Bell Road? One way in? Well, I'm not going in no place with one way in. That's not happening. Get me down back in the track. That's not happening. But that's what he said. And it showed up, and it didn't dawn on me until I was standing at the altar in Belrose. I said, you know, God told me I was going to do this. So that's why I'm so dogmatic about prophecy, you know, and judging prophecies and how they operate. Let me show you some things, okay? I think if we get this lesson down, it'll be easy for us to judge prophecy. It'll be easy for us to know what God's doing and what he's talking about in our life. Prophecy has really, really changed my life. Totally changed my life. I can go on and tell you stories about prophecy. Good ones and bad ones. But watch this. Now watch. Like I said, the guy told me this prophecy years before I got married. Years before. Isaiah 46 and verse 10 is where I'm at. I'm going to get it in today. Isaiah 46 and 10. It says, remember this. These are some of the things we have to remember if you're going to judge prophecy. Then I'll get into it. Listen what it says. It says, remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me. Declaring the end from the beginning. Now, he says, remember the former things of old, for I'm God, there's none like me. I'm God, and there's none else. Well, the thing that makes him God all by himself, the thing that makes him God and there's none like him, the thing that separates him from all other gods is, he can declare the end before it begins. He can tell you how it's going to end before your life even begins. This is what God does. This is the way he operates. That's called prophecy. That's predicting. How you going to tell me how my life is going to end and my life haven't even begun? That's how God operates. God tells you how something's going to end before it begins. So I need to keep that in mind when I'm judging prophecies. I need to keep that in mind. God tells you how it's going to end before it begins. Now watch. One of the mistakes I see that people make when they get prophecy is when somebody prophesies to them, they don't understand what they just told them is how it's going to end, not how it's going to begin. Listen to what he said. He said, God separates the end from the beginning. There's nobody like God. In other words, God tells you how it's going to end, but he never tells you where to begin. He just tells you how it's going to end, but he never tells you how to begin or where to begin. You're not here. Because God said, I don't care where you begin. All I know is how it's going to end. And so I don't care where you begin. This is where you're going to end. Now that's important in prophecy. Especially when it comes to judging prophecy. Okay? Another part of judging prophecy. I'm coming. Find the book of Habakkuk real quick. You got to find that. I'm coming. And because we need to stop with all this mess, running around prophesying to people, talking about they see money and husband. I done heard more prophecies of money and husband coming. I ain't seen money or husband yet. And that's the truth. You're not here. You know how many folks will come? Seems like every church come through Downsville, they always come through trying to prophesy their way in. And they wonder why they didn't last. They wonder why they didn't last. You know, because you can only fake the Spirit of God for so long. You can only fake it for so long. I always say it this way. I say like Southern Band. Often imitated, but never duplicated. Sooner or later, it's going to catch up with you. Sooner or later, the prophet lies is going to catch up with you. And here's how we know. Here's how I know that it's going to catch up with you. Here's one of the rules that I use when I'm judging prophecies. You ready? Here we go. Habakkuk, I tell you that. Chapter 2, verse 1. Listen to what he says. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. Verse 2. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision. Make it plain upon the tablets or tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. But listen to verse 3 again. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. So you hear what he's telling about? The revelation came by way of vision of the prophet. It's still a prophecy, for yet for an appointed time. So it's the word of wisdom. The vision that he had is the word of wisdom. It's for an appointed time. But he tells about it's going to come. Wait for it. Though it tarry, wait for it. For in the end, it's going to speak and not lie. So what he's saying is that the prophecy, not just the vision or the revelation, what he's saying is that the revelation should speak and not lie. And though the revelation or though the prophecy comes, though it tarry, wait for it, for it surely come. And when it comes, you're going to know that's it, because at the end, it's going to speak and not lie. So in other words, the word of wisdom, the prophecy that came, it should speak in the end and not lie. Huh? What are you talking about? Real good. Can I help you out this morning? What he's saying was, in the end, the prophecy or the vision of the revelation is going to speak and not lie. Well, the only way I'm going to know in the end that the vision or the prophecy or the revelation is speaking and not lying is I'm going to have to know the end before I begin. So if I know how it's going to end before I begin, no matter what kind of hell I got to go through, you're not here. No matter what kind of hell I go through, and when I finish that hell, when I get to the end, you're not here. That prophecy should be speaking to me and not lying. In other words, it should be saying this. Can I paraphrase it? I don't think I was taught and said it this way, but I'm going to paraphrase it. It should be saying this. The prophet that did should be saying this. Hey, I told you so. I told you so. You didn't get that. Let me try that again. The prophecy at the end should be telling you, hey, did I tell you that? Did I tell you that? Hey, did I tell you something? Did I tell you something? You know, you get it. When you tell somebody something, then they come to pass, I told you so. Didn't I tell you? Like you know something. You see, what that is, that's the prophecy speaking and not lying. You see what I'm saying? That's it telling you at the end what's happened. See, because he told you in the beginning, before you begun, this is what's going to happen in your life. You're not here. Now, when that happens, at the end, you can go back and say, you know what? Wow, this is God. This truly is God. How do you know? Because he told me before I began what was going to happen, and here I am, it didn't happen. That's called the vision or the prophecy, speaking and not lying. Ooh, hold up. I'm going to help you out. That's called the prophecy, speaking and not lying. In other words, you had to know how it's going to end before you begin. Let me give you a clear example of what I'm talking about. It'll help us to judge prophecy. Okay? It'll help us. I just want to show you something. I believe it's in the book of Joshua. I sure hope it's in the book of Joshua. Chapter 14, Joshua 14. Let me see. I hope. If it's not, I don't want to really be in a bind. I'll still find it. Try Joshua 14. Let me show you something. Let me show you the vision speaking and not lying. Okay? Let me show you how to judge prophecy. At the end, that prophecy should speak. Though that prophecy tarry, you ought to wait for it. Because in the end, it's going to speak and not lie. And we're going to know it was God. And now, watch this. I done seen folks prophesy, and nothing come to pass. The people, and the people dead. I always think of one right now. I never forget. she prophesied this to this girl. The girl was dating somebody else. So broke up that engagement. I'm going to prophecy ain't no joke. And hooked up with this character because somebody prophesied that that was going to be her husband. And so them two hooked up and they courted for about 2 weeks, and about 2 weeks later, now they talking about they getting married. Yeah. And I remember asking about something. Are you sure? Are you sure about this? Oh yeah, that's the Lord, brother. That's the word of the Lord. Sister so-and-so prophesied. Ain't got no problem with it, you know what I'm saying? Word of the Lord, brother. Right on. And so I finally saw the sister, and I asked the sister, I said, you comfortable with this? She said, no, I ain't comfortable with this. I got a problem with this. I said, well, if you got a problem with this, don't you think you need to say something? You're going to get married in a couple of days. Yeah, but you know, Sister so-and-so prophesied that we was going to get married. Yeah, well, let Sister so-and-so marry. That was my thinking. Well, anyway, the upside of the whole story is this. That prophecy will not come to pass. Not in this life. Not in the one to come. Why you said it's not going to come to pass? Because guess what? She's dead. Physically dead. It didn't happen. I said it didn't happen. She's dead. So now we ought to know now if that was God or not. Because God said in the end, the prophecy, the vision, the revelation, going to speak and not lie. But why aren't they married? Why aren't they married? Is it because that wasn't God? You see what I'm saying? Because if it's God, it should speak and not lie. You should know it when you get to the end. You should know it when you leave the beginning and when you get to the end if it was God. Now that was just one of the ones I seen. Just one of the ones. And it just didn't work out. They tried to make it work. They tried to fulfill Sister so-and-so prophecy. Sister so-and-so you married. They come to find out, they come to find out after them two didn't get married, all of a sudden Sister so-and-so prophesied, well, you gonna marry me? I'm like, oh Lord, let me go. Here we go. Now Sister so-and-so had her eyes on the guy all along. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what kind of stuff? I ain't talking about Christians, no, I'm talking about Christians. I'm talking about Christians. She knew all along when she was liking the man. You know what I'm saying? But why you prophesying this crazy? Here we go. Watch. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about in the beginning having the word, and in the end, it's not lying. Okay? Now watch where it should be. Let me read your story. Okay? I'm going to read from the book of Joshua, chapter 14, verse 7. Joshua 14 and 7 says it this way. 40 years old was I when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land. This is Joshua and Caleb, okay? But watch what Caleb says. And I brought him word again, as it was in my heart. Let me just stop that for a second. Listen what Caleb says. Him and Joshua. Listen what they said. 40 years old, Caleb says, was I when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land. So Moses decided to go and spy out the land. And he says this, and I brought him word again as it was in my heart. Caleb, Joshua, he didn't send you to come back and tell him what was in your heart. He sent you over to the land of Canaan to spy the land to see how it was. So you were supposed to come back and tell Moses how it was in the land of Canaan. That's what he wanted you to tell him. But Caleb says, I brought him word again when he sent me out, as it was in my heart. I didn't come tell him what it was like in Canaan. Here we go. Can I pick up the story? Let me finish it. Nevertheless, Caleb says, Joshua, nevertheless, my brother went up with me, made the hearts of the people milk. But I wholly followed the Lord my God. And Moses swore on that day, saying, surely the land whereon thy feet have trodden shall be thy inheritance, and thy children forever, because thou hast wholly followed the Lord my God. And now, he says, behold, the Lord hath kept me alive, as he hath said, these 45 years. Even since the Lord spoke this word unto Moses, even so the Lord spoke the word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now, lo, I am this day 85 years old. He's 85. He's saying the word came when he was 40. Watch what he said now. As yet, I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. As my strength was then, even so is my strength now, for war, both to go out and to come in. Now, therefore, give me this mountain. What Caleb was claiming now was this mountain that Moses had promised him if he go. Okay? And he said, he's telling Joshua, wait a minute. This land was promised by Moses to me when I was 40 years old. He sent me to go spy out the land. You know, that's what he's saying. And he said, when I went to spy out the land 40 years ago, I told him what was in my heart. But the brothers that went up, you know the story, the 12 spies. But the brothers that went up with me, he says, they made the heart of the people melt. They came back and told Moses that, yeah, they got milk and honey in the land, but they got giants too. Did you see them Philistines? And this is what they said. And we be like grasshoppers in their eyes. Huh? That's what they came back and told Moses. But Joshua and Caleb came back and told Moses, and knew what they said? They got milk and honey in the land. Yeah, they got giants in the land. But look what they said. But then the fence is gone from them, and God is for us. We can take them. You ain't here. That's what they said. No, you didn't get that. You didn't get that. The other 10 said they couldn't do it. Caleb said, I brought Moses' word again as it was in my heart. You're not here. You're not here. What you mean, Caleb? You brought the word again as it was in your heart. See, when Moses sent him out and said, Caleb, go check out the land of the Philistines. Caleb and Joshua had one answer. They didn't really have to go see. They knew what they were going to say. God is with us. And if God be for us, them Philistines in trouble. I don't care what the God that was in their heart, that God had told their fathers that he would give them that land. So they kept that in their heart. You're not here. You're not here. And so they went out with the 12 and they spied out the land. The 12 came back and said they couldn't do it. The 10 came back and said they couldn't do it. But Joshua and Caleb said, yes, we can do it. We'll be well able. But watch this. Watch this. He was 40 years old when that happened. 45 years later, after they wandered in the wilderness 40 years, 45 years later, Caleb said, listen, man, I told you then. I told you we could do this. You're not here. Here's what he said. He said, hey, listen, I was 40 years old when Moses sent me out. You're not here. Now he says, I'm 85. I'm 85, and he says, as my strength was then to go to war, so is my strength now. I can go to war and I can come back. What he's saying? Ain't no way a 40-year-old man and an 85-year-old man got the same strength. They do? Hell yeah. I wish they get in the fight, and I should have put my money on the 40-year-old. I know that for so bad. But he's saying now at 85, he's just as strong. So he can't be talking about physically. Yeah. What he's talking about is, he was 40 years old when Moses sent him out. Now he's 85 years old. It's 45 years later. And he's telling Joshua, he said, hey, hold up. We done come into the land of promise. We done come into the land of milk and honey. And then now they're dividing the land. And Caleb says, hold up. Hold it up. Before you start dividing anything, let me tell you something, Joshua. I was 40 years old when Moses sent me out to spy the land. And I brought Moses' word again as it was in my heart. I told him we'd be well able to take this land. And now, 45 years later, we have taken this land. And he says, now, give me my mountain. Because 40 years ago, I should have had my mountain. You ain't here. But the brothers that went up with me said we couldn't do it. But I knew 40 years ago that that would be my mountain. And give me my mountain. That's what he's saying. You're not here. He's saying, listen, 45 years ago, I knew we was able to do this. Well, how did you know that? How did you know that, Joshua? How did you know that 45 years earlier you was able to do that? Because God always tells you how it's going to end. And then you got to go back and again. So from the time Moses told him to go to spy it out, he already had his answer at the end. What you saying, Pastor? I'm saying, in life, in this life, in this ministry, we ought to already know before we begin how it's going to end. You're not hearing. See, I know how it's going to end with Faith Christian Center. You know, folks are, oh, I don't know. Oh, it don't look so good. I never said it had to look good. I never said everything was going to be all right. All I'm saying is how it's going to end up. Faith Christian Center is not going nowhere. We're going to be here. We're going to serve down some people. How do you know this, Pastor? Because somebody told me the end before I began. You're not here. And I'm just saying what's in my heart. You're not here. I'm just saying what the Lord said in my heart. That's a prophetic word. That's a word of prophecy. Oh, watch this. Watch this. And so as I move toward the end, when Faith Christian Center don't go nowhere, it'll be speaking in that line. And then you'll be saying this. Yeah, I told you, Pat. I told you we wasn't going nowhere. You did. You did? 1 Timothy, I'm going to quit. 1 Timothy, before I quit. 1 Timothy chapter 1. You're here. You see what I'm saying? The prophecy ought to come out of your heart. You're judging prophecy. Where did it come from? Not out of your head. What's in your heart? And here's what we need to do with the prophecy. I'm going to put it right here. Here's what we need to do with the prophecy. I told you 1 Timothy chapter 1, right? All right, 1 Timothy 1. Let me get there. 1 Timothy chapter 1. 1 Timothy chapter 1 and verse 17. All right, I'll wait a second. I stay here a few pages. 1 Timothy 1. Actually, I want to read verse 18, but verse 17 is just so good. Every time I read this, I can never pass up verse 17. I just like to say it and make the devil mad. So let me read verse 17, even though I'm trying to get to verse 18, okay? I just like to say it this way. Now, unto the King eternal, immortal, invisible God, invisible, the only wise God, be honor and glory forever and ever, amen. I just love the way he says that. Now unto the King eternal, immortal, invisible, the only wise God. The only wise God. Verse 18 now is what I want to get. This charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies, according to the who? Which went before on thee, that thou by them might war a good warfare. Oh, he didn't get that. This charge I commit unto thee, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before on thee, that thou by them, by the prophecies, mighty war a good warfare. So what he's telling Timothy, he says, Timothy, this charge I commit unto you, son Timothy, according to the prophecies which went before upon you. According to the prophecies. That you take them prophecies, you know, here, and do good warfare. Mighty warfare. According to the prophecies. What's he saying? He's saying, Timothy, everybody telling you that you're too young. Everybody telling you that you can't pastor this church. Timothy, everybody's trying to tell you, you know, you're just a little young whippersnapper. You don't know what you're doing. You're not here. They got other folks that have been in the church 50 years. They got other women been in the church 60 years. And Timothy, they want to tell you how to run this thing. But said, Timothy, I want you to remember this. Remember the prophecies which went before on you. Remember what we prophesied to you? Remember how we told you that God had called you, God had ordained you, and God will provide? Well, that still holds true today. God has called you. God has ordained you, and God will still provide, Timothy. Timothy, take those prophecies which went before on you, and you got to war with them. When the folks tell you, you can't make it. I've been here 50 years. You got to use the prophecies he's telling you. You're not feeling it. You see what I'm saying? He's telling Timothy, Timothy, use the prophecies in tough times. When everybody ain't shouting. When everybody ain't patting you on the back. When they all that said, oh, you're a good pastor. I heard that before too. Right before I got hit in the back of the head. Boom. I heard that too. Boom. See, so he says, Timothy, what did they prophesy? What did we prophesy? Take those prophecies. Take them into your life. Take them into the everyday battle. And when they tell you it's going to fail, when they tell you you can't make it, when they tell you you have to stay back, I like to say it this way, when they tell you you have to stay back because you're black, when they tell you stuff like that, take those prophecies and what to do with them. He says, do war. Do war with the prophecies. How do I do war with the prophecies? I stand up and I tell the situation, listen, situation, be it known unto you. The Lord God has spoken before I began. The Lord has told me how this is going to end. I want you to know, devil, we're going to make it, devil. We're going to dance all over your head, devil. We're going to dance and shout, devil. They're not going to take nothing from you, devil. You're not here. We're not going nowhere. See, he's saying, use those prophecies in everyday life. Use those prophecies. When energy said, listen, I better hear from you by the 15th. Because if I don't hear from you by the 15th, it's going to be pitch black. Use those. I use those prophecies. And you're not here. I remember Captain One called me a couple of times and said, Mr. Bailey, we need to hear from you. I said, yeah, as soon as I hear from God. As soon as I hear from God, you can hear from me. I don't hear from God, you're not going to hear from me. Then you're not here. You see? So in life, I have to use the prophecies. I use these prophecies in life. I use them every day. I have to tell the devil what God said. Amen. Every day. Devil, heed the word of the Lord. Heed the word of the Lord. I'm the head and not the tail. Heed the word of the Lord, devil. If God be for me, who can be against me? Heed the word of the Lord, devil. I'm more than a conqueror. See, that's how he's telling Timothy to fight with these prophecies. And that's how you have to fight with them. You have to tell the devil. Because, you know, that devil, that's the reason why he's the devil yet. Because he just don't understand. I said, he just don't understand. You have to tell him over and over again. You're not here. So now, you know, I just got tired of telling the devil what I was going to do about the prophecies about me. Watch this. The man said, use the prophecies that went before upon you. So now, I just take the prophecies that went before upon the devil. And I use the prophecies that went before upon the devil. I use that to let the devil know. When he tell me, yeah, you ain't going to make it. Yeah, look at you. You failed. I said, yeah, that's all right. That's all right, devil. I still have hope. You don't have no hope. Let me prophesy to you, devil. Let me tell you what you see what I'm saying? At least I got hope, devil. Yeah, let me tell you, yeah, you ain't nothing. But I said, yeah, but somebody loves nothing. Look at you. Nobody loves you. You a liar from the beginning. The truth not in you. Look at you. At least they never told me that. Nobody never told me that I was a liar from the beginning. Nobody never told me that the truth was never in me. Somebody did have a little hope in me. You see what I'm saying? You ain't got no hope, devil. The truth never was in you. You're like, yeah, you was perfect in beauty, but look at you now. Look at you now. You know, you can talk about me, but somebody loves me. In fact, somebody's coming back for me. They're coming back for you. You know, in fact, they went away to prepare a mansion for me. What they prepared for you? No, you're not here. I'm going back to a city. You're not here. Made for a king. Where you going? That's all I'm saying. I'm going where they got living water. Where you going? You're not here. And in fact, I'm on my way to a feast. You talking about a party? I'm on my way to the world's greatest party ever known. In fact, the Bible says that this party is going to last 1,000 years. You don't know nothing about partying. You don't know nothing about partying. Read your Bible. The Bible says when Jesus comes back, we're going to reign with him for 1,000 years. You talking about a party? How you know it's a party? Because look what he said, going to be there. Jesus said, I'm going to be there. And listen to what Jesus said when he left. He said, you see this wine? He said, I'm not going to drink this wine with you no more. Never again. Until I drink it with you anew in my Father's kingdom. So he said, when I get to my Father's kingdom, we're going to drink this wine and we're going to eat this bread. Oh, you're not here. What he's telling them was, I'm not going to have this feast with you no more until we do it again in my Father's house. What you say? Oh, in your Father's house, there's going to be a feast? Yeah, and it's going to last 1,000 years. Ooh, and you got liquor. And you got liquor there. He said, oh, it didn't get people drunk. Don't tell me that. That's not the truth. When Jesus turned the water into wine, they said, oh, you see the good liquor of our life. There's some good stuff here. There's some good wine. So, we're going back to a celebration that's going to last 1,000. Where you going, devil? You ain't never party like we going to party. You don't know how to party. Black folks party, liquor, you're not here. Black folk with liquor, music, you're not here. Got David down the harp leading up. Come on. What? You got David there. You got the psalmists there. They're singing praises. You got the old saints of God's there. What you say? For 1,000 years? What kind of party are you talking about? You're like, where you going, devil? Well, you know we're going to cut up 1,000 years with all the old folks that died and went before us. And we thought we're going to see them again. Ooh, I don't know about you. I don't want to tell all the saints' business, but some of us some great saints. But some of them great saints used to sit there. You know, and when they used to sit, they used to get full, yeah. They used to cut up, yeah. And, you know, and can you imagine with all of those folks singing the praises of God for 1,000 years? You know, I don't know about you. I keep telling people this, and I'm going to quit. I keep saying this. I don't know about you, but they might kick me out. That's fine. But last time I read, I checked the book. If I get in, he can't kick you out. If I get into heaven, he ain't going to kick me out. And watch this. And when I get there, I'm just going to holler and scream and run and holler and scream for 1,000. Don't tell me nothing. Give me something to run. And just holler and scream. Give me something. And just run and holler and scream for 1,000 years. You know, I'm running on the streets of gold. I'm just going to holler. What? Holler and scream. And my feet ain't going to turn green. Just holler and scream. What else you want me to do? Oh, the hell that I went through down here. What else you want me to do? I need 1,000 years to recover. I need 1,000 years to... What? I don't know about you. My mind be going to this way, that way. Come on, man. People's mind ain't supposed to go 80 at one time. It's not supposed to happen. But that only happens here on earth. So one of these days, my mind will quit going 80 miles an hour and 80 different ways and just go one way. Woo, no more crying, no more dying, no more tears, no more sorrow. I don't know about you, devil, but it's looking pretty good for me. I might be in nothing now, but it's looking pretty good. What about you? I got to disconnect. I'm not done. I didn't get close to what I want to get. I'm getting there. All right. All right. You enjoyed the broadcast this morning? Listen, they'll be happy to tell you how you can obtain a CD copy of the message that you just heard in its entirety. Thanks for joining us. We love having you here with us. We'll see you soon. Be blessed. God be for you. Who can be against you?